Good morning, everybody. It's Vanessa from Building a Homestead. Today I'm going to make my fall butternut squash soup for the first time this season. I'm out here on my porch getting ready to pick my sage, and I hope you enjoy my recipe. So this morning I'm getting ready to make this soup. I will show you all my ingredients and tell you what I do. I chop up the squash, carrots, onion, apple, have some sage here. I put garlic in, some spices, and some chicken stock all into the crock pot, and I cook it all day long until everything's nice and cooked down. And then I turn it off and I let it cool down for a while before I blend it in my blender. And once I blend it in my blender, I add some really creamy oat milk to it to give it a nice color. And that's what I do. So I've added the butternut squash, carrots, apple to the crock pot, and now I'm adding a heaping tablespoon of garlic, and then I'll finish adding the rest of the sage, apple, and onion to the pot. Here I'm adding about a teaspoon of cinnamon to the crock pot, and I'll also add about 1/4 of a teaspoon of allspice. You can also use cloves or nutmeg, whatever you feel like. This is Better Than Bouillon chicken base, and I add a heaping tablespoon of this to the crock pot. This adds a depth of flavor, and it makes it so that you don't really have to add salt unless you really want to. Next, I add some gochugaru Korean red chili flakes. This is about 1/4 of a teaspoon. This is some chili powder that I'm sprinkling on. It's also about 1/4 of a teaspoon. The last step before cooking is to add 1 cup of water to the crock pot. I try to drizzle it all over to get those spices down in there so everything cooks together and the flavors meld. Now you just put the lid on and cook it on high for about 4 to 6 hours. I had an extra butternut squash, so I went ahead and peeled and sliced it up and scooped the seeds out. I put it in a bowl and I added some olive oil. This is about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Then I added about a teaspoon of gochugaru chili flakes to it. I then added a very generous drizzle of honey to the pot. I tried to put enough in to lightly coat all of the butternut squash without having anything run off in the oven. Next, I added a dash of vanilla extract and about a teaspoon of salt. Then I just mixed it all together with my hands and made sure everything was liberally and evenly coated and distributed throughout the cut up butternut squash pieces. After that, I spread it onto a baking sheet. Here I'm being a goofball with the camera. I noticed my glasses slid all the way down my face, so I was looking at myself at the camera. This is some brown sugar that I got from Amazon. It's organic, dark brown sugar. And I'm just sprinkling this over the top of the butternut squash. And after I liberally sprinkle this on the top of the butternut squash, I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. This is the squash all cooked. It was a great addition to our lunch today and it was delicious. Here I am cutting up a block of turkey spam. I cut it into small cubes and spread it out onto the baking sheet and cook it at 350 degrees until it is light brown and crispy on all sides. It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes. You can use bacon instead of this, or Parmesan cheese, or anything else that you feel like would go with this. I personally think that the spam and the bacon are really great. I also have some mung beans that are flavored like bacon, and I use those as well. They're crispy salad toppers. As you can see, I started to blend up the soup. It had cooled down some, but not enough to make it not warm enough for dinner, so it was a great temperature, and when I opened the blender it didn't squirt out at me because of the heat of the soup, so that was nice. All I do is fill up the blender about 3/4 of the way and then add some oat milk to it. Kind of eyeballed it. I used about half of a carton of oat milk in this recipe, and that's all I did was just blend everything together with oat milk and pour it into the bowl. I love this recipe because it's super simple, super easy, and almost everybody has access to all of these ingredients. It's also a healthy, low-fat fall option for when people start making decadent desserts and dishes in the fall. If you need a break from that, this is a great way to get a break from all the richness. It tastes rich, but it's not too terrible for you, and it's delicious. Now I'm just serving up 2 bowls with 2 different topping options to show you, and dinner will be served. The first one I'm going to put some spam onto, and the second one I'm putting these crunchy Beyond Bacon mung beans onto the top. They're really great. It's a great salad topper, but it's also a really great addition to this soup. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really enjoyed making it. I love spending time with you guys, and I appreciate you guys spending time watching my videos. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Bye, friends.